2026 is going to be an awesome year. We got some pretty cool stuff coming up. First off, we got Foundations of Recovery. This is our flagship program. We're starting it in January.
This is for anyone, man, woman, or couple who wants to come and reclaim their heart from shame, trauma, and betrayal. We start off with an education on all sorts of principles, give you the common language. We feed you from a fire hose in terms of all things recovery.
It is such a great start to recovery. And we get at the roots of things, Tyler. This isn't like any other program. Like, this is our healing journey in process, and Foundations is where we begin.
If you look at the value that you're getting there to kick off a good recovery with all of the right education, all of the right language, and a team to get you started while also being directed by Brandon and myself through the whole process, what a deal.
So if you're interested, if you're struggling, if you've been wanting to do something for a long time, jump into this. This only comes around every so often, and we would love to have you there.
Click the link in the description to sign up for it. And to make it even sweeter, we're also including a raffle for a free pass to the Radiant Dawn retreat. Anyone who signs up for Foundations will be added to the raffle for that free Radiant Dawn pass. If you're a man and you sign up for Foundations, your name still gets entered, and you can give that pass away if you win it to any woman that you want to.
So what you're saying, Tyler, is if you sign up and participate in Foundations, you could possibly go to Radiant Dawn for free?
That's exactly what I'm saying, which is crazy because Foundations by itself is already an insane value.
Man, I sound so salesy. But it actually is awesome. So come to Foundations. And even if you don't come to Foundations, sign up for Radiant Dawn. It's beyond therapy, the best healing experiences that you can have.
Click the link below and come join us.
How do we keep our marriage a priority?
Welcome to the Real Talk Recovery Podcast with the Therapy Brothers. We're brothers, we're therapists, and we know recovery.
Bring your stories, your questions, your successes with real recovery.
What's up, Tyler?
What's going on, Brandon? This is a good topic for today. We just a couple of days ago got a message that my daughter is officially engaged now. So maybe we'll be gathering some information to give to her too.
Man, you just made me feel so old. Every time you bring that up. I was in the hospital room when your wife was like in labor.
I know.
I wasn't in there for the birth, I want to say.
And I know everybody listening right now just heard that and they're like, what the?
I know it's weird.
That was at my wife's request because I was so anxious. She wanted you to come up and calm me down.
Yeah, you were nervous. I remember that day so well. And
just the first baby, Tyler, or was that every baby that Brandon
baby? Yeah.
Yeah, but Tyler was always a nervous wreck. But yeah. So, anyways, that's awesome. Congratulations to her, Tyler. And seems like she's getting a pretty good guy too.
Oh man, couldn't be better. We're really excited about it, even though it's the weirdest thing when she called and showed us like all the pictures and told us all about it. She was so happy. And as soon as we hung up the phone, we have my two younger daughters still living at home and we're all sitting on the couch. And I look over and down the line, there's my wife and my two other daughters. And they're all just like, they'll just burst into tears. We just sat there and cried for like 15 minutes together about all the changes that are happening in our family, even though we're really, really happy about it. So
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we have Brent and Robyn here with us today. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
If you guys could just give us a little bit of context, a little bit of background, and then ask any question you have.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on, guys. We love the podcast and excited to be here. Love both of you as mentors and leaders. A little bit about us. We've been married almost 10 years. We've got 4 kids. We both came to the marriage very open, and Robyn knew about the addictions and the different things we talked about before we were even engaged, and so that has really been freeing and been a good thing for us. But it's funny because we found that some of those things that we thought would be big impediments and big things that we would have to work through and get over, because we were very upfront about it. And there wasn't a D-Day where we were both surprised by each other's pasts. Yeah. That's helped a ton, but other things that we didn't expect have kind of gotten in the way of us continuing to grow together and have a harmonious relationship. And so, yeah, anyway, just excited to maybe talk about some of those surprises and get some of your guys' feedback. And
awesome.
Yeah, I feel like because he shared with me his addiction, I shared with him that I had lived with a man before we met, and we both, like Brent said, like we both disclosed those things. And I think that helped a lot, having that trust. But what we didn't expect was, like, we were like, oh yeah, these are things that we have struggled with. And we were like, oh, okay, good to know. And then we went into our marriage almost a little bit naive in how those things would continue to affect us as individuals, and then in turn affect our marriage in a huge way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I think just a lot of people I've talked to, a lot of stories, it's that dishonesty and the lack of trust that like becomes this big wedge. And so we thought we were honest with each other. We're up front. So great. The wedge is gone. But what we've realized is that all of that stuff in the past, even being honest about it, it still was traumatic. It still caused trauma, and it still caused us as individuals to like change the way we behave in the world and react to things. Mm-hmm. And that has caused disharmony, and that has caused issues that we've had to continue to work through.
Yeah.
Can you guys, if you guys are looking at your marriage, it sounds like trust per se isn't your biggest issue. What are the places that you guys are navigating that seem to be kind of the sticking points?
Oh, yeah, no, we trust each other like wholly and completely. I think a big one for us is getting really defensive with each other. Like both of us get in ways that we don't with literally anyone else in our lives. Yeah. Someone else could have said the exact same thing and we would have been like,
laughed it off.
Yeah. Or not even thought twice about it. But when one of us says it to each other, like the walls just come up really fast.
And as we've been trying to learn more and understand more, I think part of the root of it, and would love your guys' thoughts and opinions on this, but I think part of the root of that is that I lost my train of thought. What were you saying?
Well, can I just
go
from where my thought was going? I think part of it is because that relationship that I was in was an abusive relationship. So I obviously, like, Brent has never abused me, never like emotionally, physically, like no abuse there. But because of that in my past, like I get really easily defensive. And I think because of Brent's relationship with his father and other relationships in his life, he gets really easily defensive because for a lot of his life, he was blamed for things that weren't his fault. And for that relationship that lasted a couple of years for me, I was blamed for a lot of things that weren't my fault. So I wonder if that's where it stems from.
And I'm remembering the word I was wanting to use, and that's codependency. I think we found that we can be pretty codependent. I, at least, just my upbringing and my background, one of my weaknesses is looking to my spouse, looking to Robyn for my value. Mm-hmm. That if she's happy, then I'm a good husband. And if she's doing well, then I'm a good person and I can pat myself on the back. But if she's not doing well, then I'm not a good person and I'm not a good husband. And then the shame comes in. And so some of that codependency has been debilitating to us as we've
look at the mix here. So if you mix together the trauma triggers and just the past trauma, and then the codependency, like it's really a pretty toxic mix if you put those two things together. right? Because there you are, codependent, thinking I need her to like me, to think I'm good. And there she is saying, you're abandoning me in the midst of my biggest triggers and my fears, and where you at? And it can really kind of blow things up.
Oh.
So
I think it's interesting too, just to reiterate what I think, Robyn, you just said, this is really important, because I think this is true for so many couples that we work with, is that it really does matter what we bring into the relationship. Here's two people who trust each other, who still somehow maybe inadvertently just smash each other's trigger buttons all the time.
Yes.
And but all I'm really doing is acting as the proxy to the past trauma on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Really. And somehow now we're at odds with each other. We're wondering what's happening to our marriage, when in reality, a lot of this has nothing to do with the person that's actually being the proxy for all of that. Right.
It reminds me of Billy Joel's song "Innocent Man." He's singing about how, like, I'm not the one who's done this to you. I haven't hurt you. I haven't done this, yet I'm kind of taking on the brunt of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of awesome, and it kind of sucks. So let me explain it, because when you guys come into the relationship with trauma and you come into the relationship with shame, you're naturally going to try to use each other as medication to solve those things.
Yeah.
I need you to be safe for me. I need you to love me. I need you to validate me. And when the other person has their own stuff and they don't do that, then you trigger each other, and all of your stuff gets to come out in this relationship. And this is the really cool part. It can go one way or the other. It can come out and it can lead to drama and fighting and defensiveness and disconnection, which it will. But then if you're both committed to this relationship, then in many ways, you're both committed to each other's individual healing process. Mm-hmm. And you're committed to be an asset to their individual healing process. And sometimes being an asset there means you're going to be boundaried with them, and you're not going to hold stuff for them that's not yours to hold. But you're going to be as healthy as you possibly can be, so that they can then have space to do their own individual work. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That's been such an eye-opener for us to realize. And Robyn realized it before me and has been good at encouraging me to do my own work. Mm-hmm. She's realized that, like, I need to process my own trauma. I need to deal with myself. And I'm over here like, talk to me. Let's figure this out together.
I'm important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't you see how important I am?
I was stubborn for a little while about, that's great that you're growing, but like, I'm good. I'm fine over here. So you keep doing your growth stuff. That's great for you. But why do you feel like you need to drag me along? You figure you out. And
I'm just
it
fine.
would be quite maddening. Yes. So I would talk to him. He'd be like, I am supportive. And I'd be like, hey, I feel like you need to do some work for yourself. And he's like, okay, like I'm even open to that. What am I supposed to be working on? And I was like,
what's wrong with me? What are you even talking about?
Like, I don't feel like that's my place to answer that. Like, you got to go figure it. Like, he was even willing, but he was.
I'm like sitting there like, push my triggers. Go for it. Yeah. Tell me what's wrong with me.
I'm strong.
And then all she has to do is not validate you, and all of a sudden there's a problem.
But little shout out for Brandon and Tyler's men's retreat that they do once a year. I went to that in September, and that was
a game changer.
That was a pivotal moment in my life and in our marriage, as I've begun to work on myself and recognize my codependency and my need for validation, and started to try really hard to undo a lot of damage and undo a lot of trauma, and recognize that my value comes from God, and that what Robyn needs for our marriage to be successful is for me to not depend on her for my value, but to recognize that I'm a strong son of God, I know who I am. And when she has that kind of partner, I think she can lean into the struggles. She can know that she has an equal partner to help carry the load.
Brent, you're hitting the nail on the head. I mean, when you look at this codependency, like what's at the root of codependency is what?
Validation seeking, maybe.
Why?
Because you don't feel like you're enough.
Right. You don't have an answer. You don't know. And so I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am as a partner, as a man, and so I need to consume my partner in order to be okay. And what you just said is the answer is, and it's interesting, Robyn saying, Brent, you need to go do your own work. Here you are consuming her, like, I need you, please. And she's saying, please go do your own work. And it's interesting because like you'd think like a partner would be like, oh, I want you to like try to please me all the time. And no. She wants you to be strong. She wants you to the things you just said about who you are as a man and what you know about how God loves you. That's what she needs from you. And once you have that answer independent of her, then you become that safe space for her when she's triggered, when she has her trauma triggers, whatever she's going through, that you're boundaried enough and loving and compassionate enough to really create that space for her to process through that stuff. Right. And that's beautiful when it starts to happen.
Yeah. It's weird to think that you could actually be doing amazing work after you have, let's say, a conversation with your wife where she is really triggered and you go to work with some tension, having left it unresolved, but knowing that you've left her with basically that she knows that you care about her, even though you can't fix it. And maybe you even disagree with it. And for you to have to go to work with that tension, Brent, like, oh, like, why didn't we just stay and talk it out? We could hurry and fix it. Like, it's like, then everything would be okay. And it's like, no, to leave that there was actually phenomenal work, because it gives her a chance to then have her feelings and let it be her feelings without you having to be the answer to fix it. And then it gives you a chance to go, oh, she loves me and I don't have to be the answer.
Yeah. So you're talking about last night. That's what you're talking about, huh?
I don't know.
You a fly on the wall? Because last night putting the kids to bed was a major struggle. Our son has regressed a little bit in some of his sleep training and his sleep habits. And Robyn ended up putting him to bed last night. And I helped with, some of the other kids. But it was just one of those nights where he was pushing all the buttons. And when she came upstairs, we had talked about, once the kids are down, let's watch a movie. And she came upstairs just beyond frustrated and grumpy. Yeah. And her energy was just like, ugh. And I was like, do you still want to watch a movie? And she's like, yeah, but if I'm watching the movie and I don't laugh as much as you, and I don't, engage and enjoy it as much as you are, is that going to be an issue? And I'm like, no, that's it's fine. Let's just watch it. We turned the movie on. About 4 minutes into it, I paused it and I'm like, you are grumpy as hell. Like, it's just rubbing off on me and your negative energy. Like, will you just, well, I asked you about this. I told you that.
Because I was even like preemptively, like, I knew that like sometimes if I'm not enjoying something as much as he would like me to be enjoying it, or as I don't know,
then my insecurities come out and I'm like,
then it's upsetting to
him. She's upset, she's mad, she's not talking about it, she's not saying anything, I have to bring it up, I better make sure that we're talking, and it's all my insecurities, right? So last night I just was like, she was like, I talked about this, like, I actually like this movie. I'm starting to like lighten. And I'm like, well, I'm not feeling that. I'm just feeling your tension. If you don't want to watch the movie, don't. And she's like, I do. And I was a butt. And
so let's back up a little bit here. There's a lot here. The preemptive, like, okay, I know you're going to get upset if I'm feeling
like, I'm going to set a boundary. I don't want to watch a movie if I have to laugh as hard as you. And you're like, no, totally. It's going to be fine. And then 4 minutes in, you're like, why are you even watching this movie with me?
Robyn, I want to tell you last night a bad parenting moment on my part. My 14-year-old was like, it was bedtime, and it was like a battle bedtime thing, with all four of them. And my daughter, right at the end, right when like they're finally going to bed, she's like, "Why are you acting so annoyed? You're just acting so annoyed." And I'm like, "Because you're annoying." And so to back up here just a little bit, Brent, now I want to come back to you and focus on you for a minute. Okay. Sounds like Robyn stepped in and did kind of some of the heavy lifting there with your son, the bedtime part of it. Am I right on that? Is that she kind of stepped in? It was a hard one. Okay. So she's coming up. She's frustrated. She's tired, all these things. And look where you're going immediately with it. Look where she's going first. She's like calling her shot. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to cut you off just because it gets even worse. I didn't even validate her effort. I was like, "Hey,
right.
Our oldest son has been sleeping in our daughter's room for about 2 weeks, and it's going great. Like, he's not getting out of bed. He's staying in bed. Why did you put him back in his bed tonight? Because him sleeping on his sister's floor is not a long-term solution."
Right.
Okay. So
it's your own fault that you're feeling frustrated. See? Like, yeah.
Don't come laugh at the movie.
Yeah. Now you need to connect with me because I'm going to be happy while I watch this movie. So you better connect with me. Right. So we back up here. Okay. Robyn comes in frustrated and she says to you, "Hey, I'll watch this movie with you, but I don't know if I'm going to be that happy or whatever." She's preemptively kind of, like defending against your codependency.
Yeah.
How can you respond differently? Tyler will walk you through this.
Yeah, please.
You want me to walk you through it, or I want you to answer the question?
Well, like I can give you the answers like
that are
logically, right? Yeah. Like, I would tell her, well, I'm going to try really hard not to be codependent, or you know what? It's okay to be grumpy. Like you put him down. I appreciate that. In reality, I really want to enjoy this movie. And if you're like not feeling it, then maybe we'll just watch it another time. Or I could even say, okay, thank you for putting him to bed. I really appreciate it. I know it made you grumpy. I know it was hard. I appreciate you doing that. I'm going to watch this movie now and I just want to laugh my head off. And if you're not feeling like laughing your head off, I hope that our different energies aren't going to clash. I don't know.
Help him out, Tyler.
Well, please. I actually think that some of what you're saying is pretty good, actually. The issue is can you get your heart to line up with any of the things that you just said? Like that's the
said the right things even last night. Like, no, that's okay. Like, you do you.
I wouldn't say that's the right thing. This is, yeah. Brent, I'd say your codependency disconnects you from her.
Yeah.
So it connects you into what do I need to do that's the right thing.
Yeah.
And a real strong masculine partner, man, when she's coming to you saying, "I'm worried that you're going to be upset," what I would slow down and say this. I'd say something like this to my wife. I'd say, "Whoa, like what's going on with you? Like you're worried about how I'm going to respond right now. You're probably pretty frustrated by putting our kid to bed. And now you're worried about me? Is that how you're feeling?" And I'd sit with her and try to flush that out. Like, tell me how you're feeling.
So respond with empathy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I think pairing it up, I think starting with empathy, but then pairing it up with honesty too, where you gave a couple of examples of what could be honest responses. One is like, oh yeah, maybe we should wait and watch it when we're both in a better mood, because I'd rather watch it when you're in a good mood too. Or, you know what, I'm going to watch this, but if you don't feel like it, that's fine too. I hope you don't take offense when I laugh, even though you're frustrated right now. Like, if you have the empathy paired up with the honesty, I think that's the best combination of things that you can get.
But Tyler, I do want to, and tell me what you think here, Tyler. I think him moving on too fast could be kind of like, okay, you're frustrated, but I'm going to laugh at this movie, right? Like, I think
it's
in
like
that moment to stop and say, hang on here, like, I want to make sure you're okay, and I don't think that's codependent. I want to make sure you're okay, and I want to be honest with how I'm feeling too, right?
Well, it's both. But it's like John Gottman in his work describes what he calls sliding door moments. And it's like these little moments where maybe your spouse says something that's like this in this situation, like, man, I'm just kind of got a cloud over my head right now, and I don't really want to laugh right now. But I also am too afraid to tell you no to the movie. Right. That's a sliding door moment where it's like, oh, if I pick up on enough of those and I can address those things and go, oh, tell me more about your feelings, or I know you're frustrated with our kid tonight, or hey, would it be better if we waited until we were both in the right frame of mind to do this? That actually builds more intimacy and more trust over time. If you catch those, if you miss a lot of those moments, and there's thousands of them that happen, but you miss too many of those, then it feels like you're invalidated. It feels like you're not important. It feels like you're insensitive or robotic or cold or whatever else. And so, yeah, Brandon, you're right. It takes the balancing of both, though.
Yeah.
Right.
So something that's coming to my mind is, I think I was telling myself that we were going to watch a movie together to connect, but I certainly prioritized watching the movie over connecting.
Yeah.
Like,
that's good.
I wanted to watch it and laugh and have fun and de-stress from my long day too. And so rather than like, hey, I want to connect with you and I can see that you're grumpy. And if a movie's not right now, what, do you want a massage? Can I serve you somehow? Like, prioritizing connecting with Robyn rather than prioritizing the movie, putting that relationship first.
Right. Robyn, can you see how you were caretaking for him?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's something that we've had lots of conversations about. And even last night, as we were talking after
we talked, she went to the room for like 2 hours, during which I watched the movie. and then I went in and we actually talked last night.
Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, in talking last night, and we've just had so many conversations, and it's something that we just don't know how to navigate yet, because I don't know. I need some tools. I need some resources too, because I don't want to do that. But I find myself a lot of times, like, how did I describe it last night?
So she is worried about what my reaction will be. And I think subconsciously it's because she knows that I'm, have this codependent tendency. And then for me, from the codependent side, when she's like, hey, if I don't react the way that you want me to, or the way that, you're being really silly and I'm not feeling silly. I want you to know that, like, I can't just react how you want me to react all the time. And then my codependency kicks in and my, dependence on her for my value. And I'm like, well, stop worrying about my reactions to your reactions to our reactions of the reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it feels like a lot of times I am like over here knowing that if I don't react the way that he is going, and it usually genuinely has to do with like being happy enough or silly enough or goofy enough. If I'm not like feeling really playful, then he's like, I think his codependency like kicks in and is like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you being silly? And I'm just like, I
try harder to make her happy.
Yeah.
But because I love her and I want the relationship to be good? No, because I need her affirmation and I need her to to tell me I'm good enough. So I try really hard, which
So we just
fires 99.9%.
it just always goes me not wanting or not knowing how to. It feels so messy.
Robyn's worried about my reaction to her reactions to me. In reality, this is kind of where we ended the talk last night, was like we were talking about earlier in this podcast. We both have work we need to do. I need to stop depending on her happiness for me to feel okay. I need to stop thinking that I'm not enough if she's unhappy. And when I can do that, then I'll approach that whole situation differently. And when she's not in a good mood, when I'm feeling in a good mood, I don't let her not being in a good mood affect my perception of myself. But she was saying, like, what are the tools? Like, what are some tools that?
Well, before we go to that, some of the deepest, most authentic intimacy is found in each other's pain, in each other's struggle, in each other's depression, in each other's mess. But you won't, and when I say that, like, you won't know what I'm talking about or experience that level of intimacy unless you have the strength to do so. And the question I have for each of you individually is, what fear is holding you back from allowing that space in your relationship? What are you afraid of to allow your partner to be in pain, in struggle, to be sad?
I think currently the way I've been handling it, like the wrong way, is that I'm afraid of feeling like I'm not enough when she's in pain.
Okay, so her pain triggers you feeling like you're not enough. Okay, so what's the work that needs to be done, Brent?
I need to continue to recognize that my worth and my value has nothing to do with Robyn or her mood, and stand in my strength as a son of God. That just, I need to remind myself that I know who I am, and
how do you do that work, Brent? That's a great answer.
Good answer.
But how do you actually go forth and really, really have that strength every day to allow her to have that pain and to be authentic with who she is?
I think I need to strengthen my relationship with Christ. I think that looks like putting the time in to
read your scriptures and pray.
Read my scriptures, pray, journal. Honestly, like, do things that will help me to recognize my worth.
That I love that answer. Depending on where your heart is when you do that stuff.
Yeah.
If your heart's in the wrong place when you do that stuff will be a detriment to you. Right.
But the answer you're coming to is actually really good on both sides. And I want to come back to you, Robyn, in just a second too, because I want to ask the same question Brandon just asked Brent. But what's interesting about this answer you gave, Brent, is the question was, how can we have a stronger marriage? And the answer is, it sounds weird if I'm actively pursuing my dailies in a wholehearted way, I'm actually setting myself up for a better marriage.
Yeah.
Because those dailies are those ways that we find those connections, and it doesn't really matter the modalities, but for you, the thing that rose to the surface was your connection to Christ. It's like, okay, however you're going to do that, that's the pursuit that has to happen for a better marriage, which most people are like, yeah, we need to work on our communication skills. We need to do something else. It's like, man, if I was grounded in knowing, and I was touching that part of myself that knows more often that I'm already a good person, a good man, now I can step into my relationship and I can meet Robyn with the right words and the right heart. Right.
I like what you said, wholeheartedly. Like, how can we have a better marriage? I can wholeheartedly work on myself and improve my relationship.
But I just got to reiterate this, and this could take us down a rabbit hole that I don't want to go too far down. Doing all these good things because you're trying to find your heart, because I'm trying to be a good enough man, because I need, you'll always be trying to be a good enough man. What we're talking about, Brent, is surrender. We're talking about resting in the arms of a Savior and a God that loves you. And so it's not about trying to prove yourself to be good enough for her. Yeah. This is about finding that peace every day and finding that groundedness every day. And whether you read your scriptures or you pray or whatever you do, it's about just finding that strength within with God. So then when Robyn comes in frustrated about putting the kids to bed, you're like, you know what? I'm solid. Like, I'm good. I felt good today. So do you see that?
I really do. In fact, it was at that men's retreat where I began to understand that, like, maybe for the first time ever, this idea of like surrendering. You know, we watched what was that movie?
The Shack.
And I still, that's one of my dailies, that is saying that over and again and reminding myself, I don't want to be the judge anymore.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Robyn, can we come back to the same situation and ask you the question, like, what's the fear? Like, what is the biggest fear that you have that leads to you feeling like you have to make sure you preemptively manage Brent's feelings?
I think for me, it stems back to not wanting to be punished or like feeling responsible for the way anyone feels or acts or treats me. And I think a lot of that is just from my childhood. And again, that abusive relationship of just wanting to do all the right things and say all the right things to keep the peace, to not rock the boat.
And the belief that's keeping you stuck is that somehow you are responsible for managing everyone's feelings.
Yeah. Kind of like what Brent said, like, even though logically I know that I'm not, and I teach my children that they're the only ones in charge of their feelings, I'm the only one in charge of my, like, I know this, but especially in our relationship, when it's, I'm going to do and say what I can do and say to avoid contention.
What does it mean if there's contention?
I think it triggers me feeling like I have done something wrong.
Is there a safety aspect to it of like, if I just allow contention to continue, like something really bad could happen? Is that a part of it?
I don't know.
I'm wondering because of the past abuse, right? Like,
I'm wondering if the body is saying that, even though in your situation, cognitively, you know that nothing will go over the top.
Yeah. Because I feel safe with Brent. I'm not worried about anything more than the contention itself. Like, I was talking to him last night about how I wasn't exactly sure how to word it, and this probably isn't completely accurate, but I was like, if I don't react in a way that you want me to react, like, in a way I'm punished. Like, even though you're not intentionally punishing me, you're then irritated with me and grumpy with me and annoyed with me, and it feels like a punishment. So then I'm over here like struggling, not wanting to always be overthink everything and overthink every reaction in a way that I don't want to upset him. And yet that's exactly what I'm doing, because I don't want to get into another fight.
Robyn, are you able, and this is really what we're talking about, is let Brent have his pity party in the corner, and you let it happen. Like for him to like, okay, Brent, okay, he's having his pity party. He's irritated, frustrated, whatever. He can feel those things as long as he's not breaking your boundaries. Let him feel those things. Let him work those things out rather than you try to take care of that. Right. And it is fear that you have to face in order for that to happen, and some real discomfort. When we talk about shifting out of this codependent relationship for you guys, it's going to get really uncomfortable and really like difficult at first. It really is. But then as you do it more and more, you realize, oh, this feels good. We both have space now to be us in this relationship.
So teach me what that looks like, because I'm not even, I mean, for better or worse, I'm not even worried about Brent being over there in his discomfort. It's when I am a little bit being attacked is a strong word. But
his
keep using the word punishment.
Yeah. When I'm being punished because it's not like I'm not reacting the way he wants and he's just over there like pouting and being alone. He's like coming at me a little bit. And
he's like, hey, let's fix this. Come on, let's talk this through. Like,
yes. And I'm just like, I'm just not feeling silly right now. And he's like, so how do I let him be over there and be in, like, what does that boundary look like?
So Robyn, a lot of times it'll be nonverbal and just energetic about what you're taking in yourself. So there he is, like wishing that you were happy or whatever. And it's like, he can wish that. That's okay. I'm good. I'm okay. Now I would encourage you to actually voice it in a loving, kind way. Just for your own empowerment, to hear yourself say it out loud. Something like this, like, Brent, I can see that you're wanting me to be happy right now. And I can understand why you'd want me to be that way, but that's just not where I'm at. And that's not how I'm going to show up tonight, and you could even take it a step further and say, and you know what, I could really use just some empathy and kind of processing out how I'm actually feeling right now. And he might be like, no, you need to be happy. I'm going to pout over here. And that's when you say, that's okay. Go do that. But I've voiced what I need and I'm not going to show up fake for you. I'm not going to do that. Right.
Or he's going to come to you and he's going to say, we're disconnected. We need to hurry and fix this. Let's talk it through until 2 a.m. until we can feel better about ourselves. And you get to go, actually, that doesn't work for me either. I already told you I'm not in the right frame of mind. I'm going to take a hot bath. You can watch a movie or not watch a movie. We're not going to talk about this until the morning.
Yeah.
Now that's going to be hard because he might still want to kind of pursue, and that's where you'll have to stick to your boundary and go walk into the bathroom and say, see you in the morning, close the door behind you, run the bath water, turn on some music and let it be what it is. And that's not stonewalling because you let him know you're going to be there at a touch point later on to talk about it, but you're not currently in that state. So you don't have to take the quote punishment, even though Brent, you don't think you're punishing her. You think you're solving, you think you're fixing.
Yeah. Well, something that came to my mind just now is, Brandon, you mentioned like holding space for each other. And Robyn taught me that. I think she learned it from Tyler. And I've gotten better at not like trying to, no, we need to talk. If we're not talking, then I know you're mad. But I'm just literally right now, as we're talking, I'm realizing that my perception and idea of holding space was just delaying the inevitable. Like, all right, I'll give you some time and space. So, well, I guess we'll go at it in 3 hours instead of now.
That's not holding space.
And not holding space.
And then you're sitting at the other side of the door like my dog does at the back door after I let her out, and she just looks at me like, let me in.
When's my turn?
Are you ready? You ready to talk yet?
I've given you your 3 hours.
When in reality, holding space is recognizing that it's ownership and accountability and empathy. It's recognizing who I am and how, what I've said or done has impacted her, and being able to empathize with her, but like remembering who I am and holding space for her is not just waiting. Yeah. That's what I've been doing, I think.
We're running out of time, and I'm going to drop a bomb on you right here. So get ready. Tyler's cringing. Here's my challenge to you guys. And I think this could be helpful. And you can work with Tyler in your individual therapy on this or whatever you need to do.
Thanks, Brandon.
Don't have codependent sex. Don't have caretaker sex. Don't have sex because you're worried the other person is going to pout or be frustrated but before you have sex, like really check in with each other that we are connected and we both want to engage here. And the reason I bring up sex is because a lot of what we've been talking about right now definitely plays out in the bedroom. And it's a really good place to practice. Hey, I want to make sure our hearts here are actually connected, not in this fake, I'm going to keep you happy and you're going to keep me happy way. Right? You guys understand what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you guys feeling about that?
What did you say?
How are you guys feeling about what Brandon just challenged you guys to do?
Let's talk about our sex life real quick. I think we are doing that, which means we don't have a lot of sex.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can totally flip this around. You've gotten to step one. Okay. We're not doing that anymore. Okay. Step two is now let's like really connect with intimacy and work on that side of things. And then it's going to flip on its head and you're going to have a lot more and good sex because you're both going to feel safe and connected. So you've done step one of having the boundary of like, nope, we're not going to do that anymore. Yeah. Step two now is actually facing those fears and saying, I'm going to allow you to be uncomfortable. I'm going to allow me to be uncomfortable. I'm going to actually have empathy and hold space in our marriage. And this is both sides. Yeah. Then you're going to feel so loved and connected to, you want to rip each other's clothes off. Yeah. So
could I just maybe add a couple other things? I know we're out of time, but these are like the logistical things. Robyn, you kind of earlier said, how do I do that? What do I do? And first thing I want to say is both of you guys already have the makings of things working. It's the motivation that we talked about earlier that needs to shift in order for the things you're doing to work. Robyn, you set a boundary when you went in there and said, hey, I'm not really ready to watch a movie if I'm going to be on the hook to have to laugh really hard. Like the only thing that wasn't healthy was the motivation because I'm afraid of his punishment rather than, no, this is me. Like, this is where I'm at. And I'm comfortable with myself. And I know how to set my own boundaries. Right now, step two, Brandon's talking about just a couple of suggestions for how to get there, because that can feel overwhelming, is practice the holding of the space in situations that aren't already emotionally charged, if you can. Check in with each other about the comings and goings of your day and set some rules when you check in about that, about, hey, when I'm checking in, you're going to practice empathy and active listening. You're not going to fix anything. And when I check in, I'll do the same, and we'll get the skill set going in a way that's, I can practice it when I come home. My wife can practice that when I talk about a frustration I had with a client, a lot better than if I come home and I'm like, all right, so we're going to have sex tonight. Let's talk. Like, like that's going to feel so overwhelming and so charged with emotion that's going to be hard to manage unless there's other smaller places where it's being practiced, that holding of the space. Does that make sense?
Baby steps.
So, yeah. And boy, I sure wish we had a whole other hour, because in my head, there's like, it's a whole other direction I'd want to go in terms of just like general building intimacy in a relationship, but I know we're out of time today. So
I just got to say, you guys are awesome. I can tell you've done a lot of work. Brent, it was good to get to know you up at the men's retreat. You worked hard up there. You brought your heart. And I really appreciate you guys coming on, being vulnerable today. I'm sure it will help some people who will listen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brent and Robyn. And thank you to our listeners for being here. I know that what Brent and Robyn are in is the water that many of you guys are swimming into. So if you appreciated this, throw out a shout out to Brent and Robyn. If it's beneficial for you, it's going to be beneficial for your friends. Please share it with them. And you guys have an awesome week.
See you guys.